Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dalton from the Petrol List. And if you watch the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, you'll know that the race winner was easily predictable within the first couple of laps. So, being that this is a Formula One channel, and I do like Formula One, and I do want you to be interested in what I'm talking about, I've come up with a list of the top 5 things that have not aged well so far in Formula One 2024.
Hey, what's going on? It's the Petrol List.
Before I get into that though, I do want to talk about the fastest lap. The fastest lap is a very interesting thing because it shows how quickly a driver can run the car during a race in less than optimal conditions, which you would find in a qualifying run, which, you know, notably George Russell is really good at. Leclerc is really good at qualifying runs, but fastest lap tells kind of a different story. All right, Leclerc had the fastest with a 1:31.632. Hamilton right behind him with a 1:31.746, and Verstappen actually had the third fastest lap with a 1:31.773, and after that was Norris with a 1:31.944. Now, what that tells you is that over the course of a single lap, the cars are actually pretty evenly matched. But when we talk about race pace and making sure that the car stays fast throughout all the different conditions, it's a clear winner when you're looking at the RB20. So George Russell, actually, his fastest lap was a 1:32.254, which puts him squarely in competition with the Haas cars. So Haas territory with Hülkenberg was 1:32.366, and George Russell was actually slower with his fastest lap than rookie Oscar Biermann, who had a 1:32.186. So yeah, fastest lap doesn't really tell the story of who gets points or not, but it is an interesting kind of sidebar when you're comparing drivers and the cars, and you know how luck would have it that things worked out. Now, luck was not on Hamilton's side, and that is the first thing I'm going to get into regarding things that didn't age well in 2024. First one is Hamilton's decision to stay out during the, I think it was the first and only safety car. That was in lap 7.
Road and into the wall, a heavy one at turn 23.
Hit the wall.
Okay, can you bring it back, Lance?
No, the wall.
Alright, copy that.
He stayed out on mediums for like basically most of the race, and he actually kept Oscar Piastri behind him. Oscar was not able to pass until Hamilton actually went into the pits and he changed out for softs, and that's when he also got the fastest lap a few laps after his out lap. But Lewis Hamilton has not forgotten how to drive. He knows that passing with these cars really difficult unless you have straight line speed and you can dive bomb into one of the corners. So he opted to gamble, see if he could pick up a couple of places and then pit maybe during another safety car. That safety car never happened. Hamilton ended up finishing 9th. So his 9th place finish doesn't really tell the whole story. He probably could have finished a little bit higher, but he was gambling. He is essentially not really a Mercedes driver anymore. So, you know, why not roll the dice, see what you come up with? And in this one, Hamilton came up short. Alpine is not aging well in 2024. As a matter of fact, Gasly had a gearbox issue within the first couple of laps, and he had to retire the car before the race really got started. Thing 3 that's not aging well in 2024, my race predictions. I said that Mercedes was going to win 5 races. Hamilton was going to win 3 of those, with George Russell winning 2. I'm not sure if they're going to win 1 this year. I mean, the pace of the Red Bull is just screaming. I said Ferrari's going to win 2. I said Aston Martin was going to win 1, and McLaren was going to win 1. The only prediction that I see possibly surviving is going to be that that Ferrari prediction with Leclerc winning one and Sainz winning one. So I think that's still solidly up for grabs. It's going to take some bad luck on the part of Red Bull in order for that to happen, but it is, I think, within the realm of possibilities. Thing 4 that did not age well in 2024. I know in the beginning we probably thought that George Russell's career was on the upswing when Lewis Hamilton decided that he was going to take his driving skills over to Ferrari. But guess what? Mercedes isn't shopping for a secondary driver. They're not looking for a Hülkenberg or a Daniel Ricciardo to drive, the second car. They're looking at Max Verstappen. Now, why would Max Verstappen move from Red Bull over to the dog of a Mercedes car? I don't know. I don't think that he would. I think there's a lot of speculation, a lot of what ifs, but I don't really think that that's in the cards. But Mercedes is looking at folks like Verstappen. They're looking at Kimi Antonelli, which is supposed to be like the young Max Verstappen at only 17 years old. And they're looking at folks like Alonso. That all tells me that George Russell's career as, the lead driver in Mercedes, it's kind of up for grabs. And whoever comes in to replace Hamilton is going to be a great driver, and he's going to fight tooth and nail pretty much like he did against Hamilton, and his stay at Mercedes is going to be tumultuous. Now, if you go back to what he did for the fastest lap, it was a 1:32.254. That's not extraordinarily impressive. Clearly, I couldn't do it, but there are a lot of other drivers on the Formula One grid who can. And when teams are looking and evaluating drivers, they're not just looking, at who's winning races. There are so many variables. They're looking at fastest laps and stuff like that to help them make guided decisions. And I think that is one of the reasons why Mercedes is looking for another top driver. I'm just not convinced that George Russell is ever going to hold that position, at least not in comfort. All right. And lastly, the thing that is not aging well is Ricciardo's hope to get back into a Red Bull car. The reason I say that, Perez, once he got done with I don't know what it was, maybe the shock therapy or something that Red Bull put him through after he dared to say he could fight for a championship, he kind of crashed and burned through the last bit of last season, but then this season he's driving brilliantly. He's finished right behind Verstappen, 1-2 in Bahrain, 1-2 in Saudi Arabia, and barring really bad luck, I see that being par for the course the whole season, and I don't know if Ricciardo is going to make it back into that coveted second driver seat at Red Bull. That's it for today. That was it. Watch the next race. Watch my videos. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.